Jacksonville Mayor Lenny Curry is expected to meet with the city's working group that spent the last year discussing what to do with the remaining Confederate monuments around town. Now, this comes as the mayor promised to take down all Confederate statues across the city. 11 months after that announcement, the statue at Confederate Park is still standing. The park's name has been changed. It's now called Springfield Park, but the statue that honors the women of the Confederacy remains the same.
There are people who want to protect these monuments who don't know the true history behind them. These monuments were put up to instill fear in the black community, and they were put up to celebrate white supremacy.
So the group wants the city to do one of two things: either rededicate the existing monument to publicly celebrate all women of the South and create a plaque acknowledging the racist past, or create a new monument celebrating women from the South.